The unthinkable is happening. Welcome back to the channel, folks. We are seeing B completely being rolled over. The broadcast has been live for under an hour, and Numadon is one game away from qualifying through to the grand finals for the first time ever in all of his participations here in Midweek Muster. This is incredible. I did not expect this when I came on today. I thought, okay, you know, like Numadon, he'll put up a fight, maybe he gets a point, possibly 2 games on the board, but B's going to make it back there again, right? He's going to be in the finals. The guy who has been in more finals than anyone else in Midweek Muster has to be in the finals. Not the case. Incredible. And you know what? I actually have to tip my hat and say this is what it's all about, right? We love to see this evolution. It's incredible seeing it. And what is up? Thank you very much, and big shout out to Chum, who's been instrumental, invaluable in the Midweek Muster and its performance here through all his tireless adminning behind the scenes, dealing with players who want to schedule on dopey days past their deadlines, or having to help remakes and facilitate, accusations of exploitation and whatever else it may be. That guy has been an absolute trooper and couldn't have really done this without him. But surely we can't see the last week of KPMM pass by without B at least scoring 1 game, right? Knights Templar should be a good one, actually. The map we're on here, guys, it is going to be, and let me update it, we're not on Gorge, we're on Rocky River, which is a pretty good one for... I can't lie. Okay, it's an okay one for Knights Templar. The more I think about it, of all the water maps you could get, this is probably one of the weaker ones we've had in KPMM. There's only 2 fishing per pond. So I actually like that B did not bother to go for the pond. I don't think it would have been worth it. The slowdown would have been too big. So instead he just prioritizes getting the tech up. Numadon, with this opening spears, he has at least stopped his opponent going to Chevalier. And the nice thing about doing this when you actually play as Lancaster is that you have good enough food income off of the sheep gathering that you can kind of get away with this without it feeling too luxurious of a spend. And no, the scorecard is not right. Sorry, let me fix that. Reminder, Numadon is 1 game away from winning. Sorry, it's because I changed the score, and then I changed the names, positionings in game, and then I'm also trying to tie a freaking tie because I got whined at for not wearing a tie. And this tie is like a skinny tie, so it has a very weird length that is very awkward to get right compared to standard ties. I like how, and this is the beautiful thing about Twitch, isn't it? They could see that I was struggling today, and then they gave me more struggles. God damn it. And Lancaster Castle coming in. Now, this is interesting, actually. Numadon got kind of a... Wait, what? No, he didn't scout it. He had, the easiest Lancaster Castle placement possible here, and he didn't even realize it. That's kind of rough, man. Yeah, he went for 4 gold. And this would have been the place to be, right? Because you could have just slapped down all the manors. Been cozy as can be. Why is it the last edition? Because we said we were going to do a 30-week esports circuit, and I'm gonna blow your mind. We actually done 31 weeks with this one. So we're currently exploring what comes next. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have something to talk about towards the end of the stream. So feudal age has been reached, and it has been the standard French route, which, to be expected, is just by far the best option you have. Against Lancaster in particular, at least gives you some sort of raiding potential, but the tricky thing here is, how do you stop Lancaster scaling? I like what B's done, though. He's understood that Lancaster's not really a warrior that comes out to play, so what do? They stay at home, meaning you take advantage of the map. B now moves out for the fishing, and he's also going for the pilgrimages. Okay, so this is overall looking pretty good then. I like B's position. Getting the pilgrim alone offsets the villager loss. And now you're going to have the fishing to kind of supplement the fact your opponent has manners. It's not going to be as good, and it's not going to be infinitesimal. But it's at least going to give you a timing in mind. And I imagine B's also going to be high prioring going into Sanctuary, i.e. level 2 pilgrim. And no, KP is not doing your Road to Conk series. Like I said, dude, okay, I gave you the requisite. If you guys want to see KP Road to Conk, the channel needs to keep growing. That was the rule. And we stick to it. So what does Numedan look for as a win condition here? 9 manas feels a bit greedy, right? I would probably expect him to go for 3 or 6 maximum and then go for the castle timing. It's nice because you can actually just start pumping Earlsguard to deal with all these problems. Whoa. Why is chat throwing shade? Like, that is false advertising right there. We want him to, but he says no. No, I don't say no. I gave you a goal. And now, dude, like, you're... Okay, I'm going full dad mode. My daughter, yesterday, hungry. Give her food, right? She does... I don't want the food. And then, when we're eating dessert, she's like, I want dessert. It's like, well, we ate our food, so we got our dessert. You're asking me to do the same thing for you where she asked. And I'm not gonna, all right? Exactly, Ezra agrees. If you want the Road to Conk series, we need to be hitting 750 average viewers across a month. There's nothing vague about that. I literally set a milestone goal. You're just trying to loophole me now. And it ain't gonna work. Mana's coming in, and we have got the rush into castle, so he doesn't even go for the level 2. I think that's okay. Like, he probably scouted that the fishing's going on. He's like, okay, actually, like, B's not falling as far behind as I'd hoped. So the greed doesn't make sense. I need some aggro. KB to Conk would be a big factor in pushing the stream to 1K. Somehow, I don't think that's true. What's the average viewers over the last month? I'm happy to talk about that, seeing as we got the other game and not too much is happening just yet. So actually, the average viewership is dipping downwards, I'd say. On Twitch, we're just under 300 average viewers across 30 days. And then YouTube, I think it's gone up a bit. It's like 100 average viewers. But something happened. The start of this year was definitely a lot better for average viewership in general, I'd say. YouTube was maybe a little bit weaker, but like we're talking weaker by like it was 50 or 60 average. And then Twitch was like 400, 450, 500. Looks like we have got the white tower coming in now. So Numedan just doing exactly what we expect here. This is probably going to be just a standard Earlsguard rush build. B isn't too far for an age up. I am curious as to what the game strat is going to be here, though, because you can't be thinking of building Genoese crossbowmen. I think that's like a recipe for disaster, right? Because Genoese crossbowmen are really slow. They get kited by Earlsguard and get outranged. You just die. So instead, maybe B leans towards knights. How about I have your stream open 5 times once on a PC? I think Twitch has ways of tracking that if you don't have like sign-ins or something. I'd have to double check. Twitch a long time ago like made an alteration on like meaningful viewers, and it has something to do with like, for example, volume slightly being played, I think. But I might be wrong because embedding does exist. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep my son entertained while we run an entire esport tournament. Hang of an Empire coming. Okay, what? That's a little bit surprising. So he's going to flood heavy spears. I've seen this with fishing, and it does look really powerful. But it's against Earlsguard. Wait, no. It's not about the spears at all. He is actually going Mass Templar Brother. So he simply got Angevin to stop the docks from being burnt down. That's a very big surprise. He sacrificed a 30% gold scale. But I think it's because he's worried that the docks are going to die too fast. So this gives him a little bit more breathing room because Templar Brothers take a crazy long time, guys. It's 38 seconds by default. Blessings of him choosing the French commander means it's only 32 seconds, but that's still a very long wait to scale compared to your opponent who's pumping out Earlsguard every 23 seconds and already started with 3 and has already been in castle for another minute and a half. What a crazy build from B, though. Blacksmith's going to be coming in, so B's going to be prying, what, the undermesh, just to protect them from the dagger throws? Remember, Templar Brothers are a lot harder to kill. They come with extra health. Yeah, like compared to a Standard Knight has, what, 230? They have an extra 45 HP. You do pay a little bit more, but the beautiful thing is because you're playing with French Commandery, you actually don't pay that much more. The gold discount helps. Chase is on, but numbers definitely against B right now. Numenon's going to start punting the daggers. Now, the daggers are really important to the DPS exchange. Not just because it's you throwing and hitting without being hit in return. The dagger hits harder than the Warhammer. I still find that crazy to this day, that for some reason the dagger hits harder, by the way. I'm still actually shocked that that didn't get nerfed in the upcoming patch, now that I think about it. Like, maybe put it down to... Now that I think of it, like, yeah, put it down to 12 damage isn't a bad idea. Or rather, 11 default and scale with castles. So far, this is looking pretty rough, right? Like, you already lost one of the Templar Brothers, and this comp is weird. It doesn't scale like Chevalier do. You don't get more health per Templar Brother here. There is a tech that's pretty cool, but we rarely see it, and that's Rule of Templars, where you get bonus damage on a charge for every nearby heavy cav unit charging. It's a very weird mechanic, though, because obviously... Like, you know, at first when you start charging, you're like, whoa, look at these guys. They've got like plus 30 damage. But then as each of them hit, the other guys lose their bonus damage. So it's a very odd interaction, I find. It's expensive, that too. It's not just that it's expensive. You're building an expensive unit and you need to scale enough of them to make sense of even scaling it yourself, right? By the way, the Angevin Empire has helped out quite a lot. The dogs should have been dead by now. It's set on fire, so should eventually get burnt down, and the villager isn't being pulled, so it looks like B is just conceding this is going to die. Has at least got an archer ship coming out, which will arrive in time. Pilgrims are sticking by the way. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Numenon's been allowing this. I thought he'd actually do something like wall the sacred site, not just wall his flank. He has switched to the spearman, though, and B may have caught him off guard with this because he was already prepping archers. Definitely needs some time, though. If you can make this more and more about archers, it does look better and better for KT just because you have great wood gathering rates. The food idea is cool, but remember, this play into Templar Brothers is short-lived, as the shoreline fish isn't going to last forever. In fact, this pond is down to its final 200. Yeah, so it's already exhausted 80%. So what I mean about this play, like, it's very weird on this map compared to, like, Dry River or Cowson or anything else. Like, Knights Templar just doesn't have much runway. If you occupy all 4 of these ponds, you have 4,000 food to work with. He's not getting through that anyway. No, another dot gets denied. Oh, that's cool. I love that from B. He could spend 150 wood, or he could spend 50 wood. This is sick. He can drop off manually. You have to drop off manually, though. It won't auto do. But you can walk over and just click on here, and mills allow fishing to drop off. We've seen this with the Japanese, with their farmhouses up and down a river. We've also seen this on maps like Kalauga, where you can take it a step further with civs like the Chinese and Shuxi. They can actually supervise and have fishing boats drop off in a mill. Did we get predictions up on this one, by the way? What was it like in the end? 64% for B. Wow, so a lot of people were just believing in a combo of B plus Knights Templar, which is pretty impressive considering what has happened in this series so far. We are moving out of that aggro window that historically favored B, but has been working better for Numenor at the moment. And we are going to start thinking more of a macro game, and a macro game would be really intriguing here. Like, both of these civs have incredibly high ceilings for late game. Lancaster, of course, with their manners, makes them very pop efficient, but Knights Templar also have their own eco pop efficiency. The Pilgrims don't use pop slots, so you can get all your gold income off of something that doesn't use population at all. He is prepping the nobles here, by the way. Yeah, so he feels like he needs more bodies, right? Mustering the nobles is pretty smart because it's going to litter the fight with more units that archers don't get bonus damage against. Also gives him something to just wrap around onto the archers with. Right now, B's going to be the one wrapping around the back. The Templar brothers are going to go for the charge in. Numenor, slow on the reaction, does get connected with, and he moves past him as well. Good strike. B able to keep chasing. Spearman will eventually scare him away. But a decent little dive in, gets him several worker kills, gets him out with no damage done. He has additional Templar brothers moving around. That Monk doesn't really matter, by the way. The relic split has already been decided. It's going to be 2 to 3 in favor of Numidan, as he's currently walking the final relic home. And it looks like the Demi-Lancers are going to be full raiding. I think the thing that gets awkward with Knights Templar at this stage is, like, what do you now do with the Cav? This is cool if he could find a way into Imperial, because he's going to go Poland, right? Like, the buff is going to be crazy. Stat increase is going to be beautiful. Oh, and I just realized the minimap was never in the wrong location. It's just I changed the size to just capture card something. Whoopsie. I'll fix that after this. What is up, Connor? I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Never stop AoE content, please. Oh, I'll think about it. Got to keep stacking those numbers up, more and more people. Then I won't be able to leave. If B loses this, he'll have lost 3 20 series in a row to a final game versus Lancaster. Oh, God. No, dude, why do you have to add the Lancaster detail in there? It's already grim enough. Yeah, things just ain't hitting right now for B. Which I think kind of makes sense towards the tail end of a meta, right? We talked about this. B's biggest advantage is how he iterates ahead of most other people. His creative thinking and reactionary style allows him to get an advantage in early days of new metas. But once the metas settle, that's where we see B falls down the rankings a little bit. Man, it just feels like right now he can't find the hit he's looking for. Remember, although it's a slight worker lead for B, not only is it the temporary nature of going for fishing, it's also the fact that your opponent has got 9 manas. So in a very cozy position. I do like what B's doing with the map, though. Triple Sacred Site locked in. That's going to be a lot more gold pump. Now, I wonder if we see him switch on the stone soon and start thinking about dropping the keeps. And no, Emma, Ezra's not asleep. So might want to hurry up and get Freya back, I think. I've literally had to give him some paper to play with. Because Emma, the abusive mother, brought him out here, left him in the buggy with 0 toys, fully awake. Poor guy. Oy, oy, oy. Who's going to be coming out awake in this fight, though? It looks like Numidan. The spear count is not crazy right now. The Knights brothers are very strong. They've got a lot of HP to push through with here. The Yeoman also not getting aggroed onto them, so B actually getting a great fight out of this. Needs to turn around to address the Earl's Guard, though. That is going to buy time. Numidan has got more Spearmen, more Yeomen pumping out here. Spearmen that do also have the Billmen, which is making these TPs a little bit less tanky. But the tankiness of Lancaster has been removed. All of the Earl's Guard are dead. The Templar brother count is still ludicrous, by the way. He's got 20 in the field. Right now, only 7 of them in the fight. Health bars are getting low, but this second wave is big. Now, the one challenge that you have here with your B is if you want to go in the base, you have to go wide. You can't dive past the White Tower. But going wide can be good here, considering that Numidan is still playing on finite resources. He hasn't got a farm transition. He's now getting into it, but it's early days. And B, what I'd love to see him do right now is switch onto stone. Like, from this type of position, a keep drop just to lock this in also means your archers would actually have very similar range to the yeomen, meaning they can kind of trade evenly. Speaking of those yeomen, Numidan is going to go even harder into them. We have got Shah the Levy on the way, so that's about to spawn him in an additional 17 bowmen. And yeah, I know, I'm not an abusive father. I'm a great father. I gave my child some paper to play with. Which he's been dribbling on. Great. Thanks, Ezra. Well, I know paper's about creativity, but that wasn't what I had in mind for him. I just thought he'd pull a pen out of nowhere and learn how to write. So we do have Sing Shot on the way. Numidan is full hunkered down, I guess. Like, he's going to try to sneak for this decap. B is doing the classic thing we used to see all the time on Rocky River that I think made people start not to miss this map as much. We've got the walls. Yeah, a lot harder to do these days, though. Like, when we used to see Rocky River, you have to remember that was before the Pro Scouts meta when walling took half the time. Nowadays, it's a much bigger investment, but look at what B's real intent is. Sacred sites plus walls, buy time. He's going for Imperial. Now, Imp is interesting here, actually, because we mentioned the Kingdom of Poland. If he gets that upgrade, if he gets that tech up, it's going to give him 50% more charge damage, which means his lance damage is going to go spiking through the roof, close to 50 damage. It's a pretty interesting idea. Definitely one that you can make work. And I mean, Schlachter Cavalry are just incredible anyway. There's a reason why they were targeted for nerfing in Season 11. I think it's only a slight decrease in their health, but like it matters. They are just such a pop-efficient unit. The challenge is affording them, but if you've got mass pilgrimages, you can definitely do so. The interesting thing, though, is that B doesn't have mass pilgrimage. He's now 21 minutes in the game, going into Imperial Age, and he's yet to build a single castle. And there it is, Kingdom Poland is coming in. And what do you mean bets on Ezra eating the paper? It's pretty high. He's probably going to eat the paper. But, you know, it's got calories in it, so... Growing baby and all that. I don't know if the ink on the paper is a problem, but... Yeah, it's fine. He just keeps looking at me with a very goofy smile. Oh, he actually does have paper in his mouth. Oh, crap. He'll be fine with a little bit of paper in his poo, right? I don't know how to get it out of his mouth. He, like, starts smiling at me. I'm like, wow, he's got a lot more teeth than I remember. It's like, oh, that's actually, like, that's paper. Okay, so Wingard now coming in from Numadon as I continue to try and get the paper out of my son's mouth. Fortresses are finally on the way on the other side for B, so he's going to start scaling his gold income. Really important with what he has in mind here, by the way. He's going to be eliteing a lot of things, plus he's got biology to think about, so he needs a lot of gold right now. And this is the interesting thing. The fortresses really are a snowbally type thing. The first one is always difficult, but once you have the first fortress online, it just complements itself as it rolls into the next and the next and the next. And Wingard. Yo, wait, is he going to find him? Spearmen are moving. That's going to be enough to deter him. Okay. That was a very scary moment for Numadon. If he got idled out of that, locked away from elites, he would have been up Craps Creek without the paddle. Now, he has teched up. B knows about this, but doesn't dive in. He actually backs off because the elite upgrade for the Templar Brothers is still not there. Instead, more fortresses are going to be. I feel like I'm actually just gradually helping Ezra to swallow this paper instead of getting out of his mouth. Every time I go in to try and get it out, it goes deeper. I think it's chalk, chat. Templar Brothers are underrated because of Schlachter? Yeah, because Schlachter are just so much better. They really, really are. We do have the Polish Fortitude in on these Templar Brothers. You can see the damage they can do now. 64 damage on a lance charge. It's pretty crazy. And we do have the Schlachter now also getting added in. Yeomen are fully upgraded. I think they just missed the incendiaries now. Scootage is also on the way, as well as the ranged damage free. Sink Shot is going to come in, and it's going to be a big whiff. Second wave is going to be there, though. That is going to force B to actually click elsewhere. But Numadon, like, what is going on with these military numbers? This is crazy. 65 to 105. Now, of course, B does have the quality, but the challenge is its quality into its counter, which discounts the value. Makes this very difficult. Yeah, and this is the thing that I see time and time again, actually, with Knights Templars. Like, functionally as a Civ, what you're really looking for is a way into heavily armored units. You know, Men-at-Arms, they look different, but not really a target. Most of the time, it's Knights. But, like, the Knights... Hoi boy. It's so hard to keep affording them. Because usually like the food income and the way like you tend to go towards woods, you want to use wood anyway. Doesn't a Templar brother beat a Schlachter one-on-one? Pretty sure mathematically it's close, but a Templar brother wins slightly. But the thing you have to keep in mind is that that's in a vacuum logic. Look at what makes Schlachter really good, the ranged armor compared to the Templar brother. It's like, against this comp, you have a lot of tankiness against the yeoman shots. There's also the fact that you do get bonus damage against light infantry. So if you're asking me which one is more useful against the enemy comp here, it is hands down gotta be Schlachter. Schlachter that have more HP than you do, raw HP, more ranged armor but less melee armor, but more importantly, they get the +8 light damage against a full light comp. You're thinking mirror games? Why would you ever mention those in tournament games? We never think people do that. But yeah, no, like against Lancaster's typical comps, I'd rate Schlachter higher every time. And price-wise, like you're not paying a drastic deal more for what you're getting either. Now I don't think he went for the tech, right? Yeah, he never went for Rule of Templars, so didn't even entertain the idea of that extra charge damage, which I think makes sense because it's just so many spears. And guys, it's going to be so many more spears. Remember, this is the #1 thing the Wingard does. Garrison commands. Spear and raise that just keep you on your toes looking back at your base. Oh, folks, we have got a real hunker down here, haven't we? I think if B can keep more and more gradually scaling into the knights, I'd favor his composition here. And also, he hasn't reached peak scale, but like Numenor technically has. Yes, he's got more farms to add in, but his passive income is already maxed. B's is nowhere near max. He's got 4 pilgrims coming. That's only a third of what you can actually really achieve. So a lot of wiggle room here. And we do have treasure towers as well, so it's going to be amplifying. And y'all are talking about like what the best wing is. People got to wake up to the Condottiero. Not in this matchup, but there's a lot of ones where actually I think it's pretty good now. Flash coming in. Scenarios is not there yet. And funnily enough, B hasn't even started queuing it yet. Needs to be careful around the timing because it's what, 20 seconds out? Numenor unlikely to be able to stay here that long though. He's starting to lose quite a few spears. Yeah, the tricky thing isn't like, oh man, these are cheap and I can replace them fast. It's that in the moment in this fight, the cavalry should exist longer 1-to-1 than the spearmen do. It's going to keep chasing. Time has been bought. Incineroar just got queued up by B. Likely we're going to see him take a shot here from the yeoman and then back away. Schlachter don't counter heavy spears? No. And another fortress drop. Sacred Sight's not really achievable right now. Remember, one of them is decently far on Numenon's side. But it is just going to start eliminating options for flank raids for these spears. Like, spears very slow moving. And Robotiquins is going to be an interesting one. Especially against Schlachter that have all that ranged armor we mentioned. I don't know what to give Ezra. Oh, my phone. Yeah, here you go, buddy. You always try and eat that. For real, I'm not even kidding. I give that kid my phone, and then he looks at it for 1 second, and then immediately opens his mouth as wide as possible and shoves it in. What we've learned here is if robots ever take over the world, they should fear him because he might consume them. How does this end? I feel like as this continues deeper and deeper, I favor KT more. Just because of the gold that they can afford. Robotiquins is a cool idea, though. Like, the problem, though, is you're against a Civ that builds archers really well and then has infinite night spam. Now, the archers are really impactful at this stage with the keeps, guys. Remember, they get extra range. Right here. The Desert Citadel is going to give them the improved range of 15%, and he also now has the extra armor. Like, I think the only thing he's missing, and there it is, Silk Bowstrings. Silk Bowstrings is going to be incredible here. So you go up to 6.5 by default no matter where you are, then you add on an extra 15%. So you're shooting longer range than longbows. And the monastery drop is interesting. So B's going to be moving his relics to the front side, it seems. I thought he'd do it over here at the further away sacred site. Like the one further from the enemy base. Because remember, if he now moves his relics over here, instead of getting 80 gold per, he'll get 100 gold per. So it doesn't sound like a lot, an extra 40 gold per minute, but escalation, escalation, escalation. Nimodon. Wait, is that a Hobbler switch? Okay, look, yeah, in fairness, Schlatt's just light infantry, not light units, right? So you're going to die fast, just not melt. Roboticon count is inflating fast, by the way. Numedon soon to be up to 6. Does B have a dive point in mind here? Oh, wait, does he know about the farms? Because actually, he might also be able to circle towards the castle with this, like, 30 knights. And this whole idea that Hobblars are sneaking the economy is difficult when you look at the vision from B. Like, how are you ever sneaking here? You're seen everywhere. So villagers are going to break off here. He's going to bail on the farms. This is just a weird stare down, man. This is classic Lancaster where they're like, I can just run him out of town by not running. I'll just stay here until he runs out of resources. All right, one's if you think Numedon's going to win this, two's if you think B's going to take it. And yeah, sorry about the crying in the background. Marine Lord gets cranky sometimes. This is crazy. Like, this is what I mean, though, with the keep escalation all of a sudden. He's still got so much stone to work with. What, about 3,500 stone over here? And then another 5 there. The tricky one, though, is, like, could B angle into the sacred site here? That would be huge if he could. This is the weird thing, actually. Like, and I think that's why I think Knights Templar economically is better balanced than KT is. Like, Knights Templar have to come out onto the map to get this type of ridiculous economy. But Lancaster get it by just staying in the corner. It's really, really frustrating. Like, this is why Numedon's taking this approach. Like, he has to against Cav, right? But it's also, what's the rush in his mind? I think that is a dangerous thought process against KT specifically because of what we mentioned with fortress scaling. But against a lot of civs, it works for this very reason. Like, oh man, I haven't got to do something. You've got to do something. Do something. Will moves in, archers, starts thinking about the Roboticons. Yep, are able to scare him out of range here. The Culverin's less valuable in this engagement right now. The Knights are going to spread out. Sing shot's going to come in. Decent hit there. The splashdown from Roboticons is being dodged out, though. Yeah, I don't think they've got one solid shot out so far. B, able to break him. Pushing through here. More slats are being queued up. And ground being gained. And not just that, this is huge, guys. He's got Fanaticism now on the way. Remember, this is the one that increases your damage and as you get lower and lower in health. So Templar Brothers could actually come back into the picture in an interesting way here. Not to mention the Schlachter also are enabled by this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, you don't really want to go Chevalier at this point. Angevin Spears? Probably not against this comp due to the Robotiquins. But it's interesting because of the scale point here, right? Like, you're going to get an extra 30% damage when you're almost dead. So watch what happens on the health bars here. We actually have some low HP units that we can show you. So Fanaticism kicks in. Look at that damage! 46 on a Warhammer Strike, 92 on a Lance. Normally, it's 35 and 76. It's huge, the difference it makes. And because this unit has almost 500 HP... it can get probably 3-4 attacks out at that 30% plus before it dies. That is wild. And does it buff torch damage? That's what I'm not sure of. I don't think so. That does sound kind of crazy if so. It does. It buffs torch damage. Yeah. Okay, so should allow him to get through this castle pretty quickly. A new keep drop coming in. More and more gold being removed from the map that Numenor could have options here. He has got lots in reserve, though, and he is now raiding straight down the center. Oh, boy. Wait, B, did he misread the situation? Look at his food income. He doesn't have huge reserves here. Numenor, he's now fishing for it, looking for that economy. 9 pilgrims coming out a minute. Could be a good target, but like that's the one thing B can afford, gold. The thing he can't afford to start losing here is food workers. Food workers that are about to start being found here. The castle dives are coming through. Army's making its way home right now. Spearman is still just trying to idle out around the primary TC. It's not really working so far. B should be fine off this. Numenor, meanwhile, has been absolutely massacred. 48 to 90, 80 economy right now. He went 2 TC to try and recover the problem. But now things will look okay for Numu because he has more military. But like as he rebalances his eco, he's going to find himself in a similar situation again where like B's quality of cavalry will be the MVP. Man, this is going to be a deep game. I mean, this is a thing, right? Like, Numenor's able to toss away this many troops to buy time. We mentioned, like, the rebalance of eco, etc. It doesn't have to be that egregious with it. And one sec, guys. Maybe not happening. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to start rocking a baby while also casting, producing, observing. Yeah, just the normal guys. I don't know. It confuses me. I thought Marine Lord would be happy about the deer shoving getting nerfed. Cormorants are knocking, by the way, but army is coming. And this... Wait, is he not spread a bit thin? Oh, he's got 23 spears, which doesn't feel crazy against this many cavalry units. No, he could be in trouble. He's got radius to the backside, trying to draw attention. And that is going to work. Yeah, it scares B back. We do have 2 TC from B, by the way, so he can afford some worker losses. The more annoying part is going to be having to add in additional farms, etc. Yeah, especially with Rocky River being that type of map where it's not uncommon to reach the phase of the game where the only thing left is the stealth forests. It's a weird one like that, because you think you have a lot of trees when you see all these little splodgenings, but these just kind of add up to be worth probably about 1 additional big tree line, like 1.2 big additional tree lines. So, like, compared to Dry Arabia, I'd say you actually have less wood on this map. And B, well, we talked about all this gold. It's too much gold. You need something to do with it. We've got adjustable crossbars on the way. That's going to be interesting. Adjustable crossbars could be pretty powerful here. My one concern is the culverins. Like, are you solving for that as well? Because the culves can very easily snipe those mangoes. Another awkward thing here is the Roboticans. Yeah, they need to be removed. Archers are going to move in now. Singshot's going to come out. A nice strike there by Numenor. Culverins are still sieging the castle, and one is going to be brought down here. So a hit to B's economy. He now gets 1 less pilgrim because of that. A decent hit to his Schlachter count as well. I think he lost about 12, 15 of them. And the spear count is still healthy. Numenor with a surge now. Hoblar's giving chase here. I love the way he litters them in. With the 10 ranged armor, they can actually draw a lot of archer fire. Make matters worse, the Billmen just keep hitting with the bill hook. Able to make it even easier for Hoblars to find kills. Yeah, kind of interesting the way that Numenor's making hobbies work in a game where he doesn't have the key ingredient, the King's College. King's College gives you huge damage buffs to Hoblars' charge. That's just not here. Oh, that is going to be Monastery knocked down. Luckily, B never moved them to the front side, so that's not going to be relics given over. Unluckily for B, it kind of feels like he's losing ground now. Before he was able to posture aggressively for raids, that's not going to be happening now. No, he has to hunker down to defend. The one upside for him is obviously he's playing flanks for the gold here, and also the pilgrimages are to the east. So the central bound focus isn't really stopping B's economy, but my issue is like, how are you winning militarily? Archers are going for the dive in. Sink shot. Decent, but not crazy. This It's just so many spears. This Civ, man, I swear. It's just such a cost-efficient late-game comp, right? Spears Yeoman being the bread and butter. It looks like maybe he extended a bit too far here. Wait, where are the spearmen? Second wave's coming in now. He needs them as well. The Culverins are in trouble. Yeoman are going to get caught. Notches are now catching up. But B needs to find a way of just keeping the press going. The problem right now is he's doubled up on military. It's about 120 military pop to 60 on average. Smashed up. They are starting to sneak through, so the Culverins are in a bit of a pickle. By the way, like, the Spear versus Schlachter fight is a lot better for Schlachter than you think. Remember, they also have that strike that decreases attack speed on Spearmen. Makes them take longer to strike. Plus, they get the bonus damage. So, like, that's why you're seeing him able to just kind of ape-click into a giant ball of spears. Schlachter, quite surprising. More keep drops coming in. So B just trying to replace the gold loss. But gold really isn't his problem here, guys. Food is. I'm concerned about the food count. 37 food workers just really isn't delivering what I think B needs. And remember, that's important because Schlachter, they're 180 food per. They already use bank loans? That's a good call. We don't often see it. It would make sense in this game, but no, he is not. Actually, no, sorry. I always get them mixed up. Yeah, the bank loans are weird. The way that I think they'd be good, I almost feel like you actually want food instead of gold. Actually, maybe that's not true. Like, if you're gold starved, then you absolutely need the gold trade, but he can't do loans in this type of game. It's pointless. Like, this is the thing. I think Knights Templar exist in two states around the idea of the bank loans. You have the games where they can't Pilgrim, and it's a clutch play, potentially. And then you have all the other games where, like, in the late game, I have got my pilgrimages, but my food is the thing that sucks. It's not like B hasn't been trying to be good there, right? Like, he got maximum level ecotechs. He's added in 27 farms. I mean, I think probably he needed to get more farms here. He was too reliant on the idea of archers. So we have got kind of a calming. This is very weird, right? Because Numenor, I mean, there's no risk for him. B, probably a little bit reluctant in ways because obviously he's on the verge of just defeat. But the thing that's kind of interesting to me is like B, yeah, he is now doing this. I was about to say, you should be taking this time to readjust your economy. If the issue has been a lack of cavalry, then fix the food because the gold isn't the issue, as we can see by the count. Gold has been fine for a long, long time. Like, he's been floating well over 4,000 in surplus for ages. Well, I hope the baby crying and needing to be a father hasn't ruined the casting on this one now that I think about it. Because this definitely feels like one of the games that is going to make it onto the YouTube side. I mean, how can't it with the way this is playing? By the way, there is a limit on what you can get out of these fortresses as B. The maximum pilgrim count, I believe, was it 10 or 12? I think it was 12, I want to say. No, wait, it is 10, right? Yeah, it's 10. And you get 2 by default. So, like, these extra fortresses now are redundant. He's already reached threshold. Mangonel spam is beginning, though. And the problem with this right now is... Oh my god, wait, what? The Hobbelars? Well, that would be one of the big problems if you leave them unguarded. My god, he's so lucky this is not a King's College game. King's College would have killed all of them. So, loses a few mangoes, but still has 5. This is scary now for Nimu. His Roboticon's going to be threatened. Even his Spearmen are going to feel the pain. The Culverins are still elite snipers against the mango play. It does take 4 hits to get a kill, though. So he's going to bait in range. Mango shots coming through with the adjustable crossbars. The villagers are trying to repair, but snipes are there. There's enough. They should be able to get the insta-kill. Now, not so much, maybe. The Culverins, they're going to have to start backing up. Yeah, the front line kind of failing him where it matters. He's got a second wave coming from the south side, but that means the Schlachter, they get in, they get on top, and they get the kills. Cove count down to 3 is important, folks. That means he doesn't have enough to insta-kill a Mango now. So with the repair crew, B can just keep them here outright. He's going to continue to march forward. The military lead that Numidan wielded before doesn't really exist to the same extremes it once did. Earlier, we had B struggling to maintain his population. Now he's mirroring it. Question is, does he need some forward production to keep the push going? Mango shots are coming in. The Culverins are being connected with here. Reload's going to be there. At least one of the Mangoes. Worth it, he can take these out in trade, though. Gets one of the Culverins. Villager repair crew's been pulled. And B, maybe a little bit too focused on those Culverin. Yeah, now in a bit of trouble. He's losing his own siege. The wraparound's coming in. Numidan. He baits B in too deep. And that tunnel vision on the cannons is going to cost him a huge fight here. Oh, boy. So, B, after this, like, militarily, Schlachter should be pretty weak on count. Food income, not crazy for a remax. The problem, though, is Numidan going to do anything with this? Like, really do anything with this? Or is he just going to stay at home, like they always do? All right, screw it. Get your predictions in. How long is this game going to be? By the way, Big Pog, we managed to get Ezra to sleep. I'm a super dad. What can I say? Da, 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 da. The wham in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He's like, oh, good. I'll have an opponent soon. What do you mean they're still fighting? Wham at this point has closed the take notebook. And he's just like put an underline at the start saying, just end the games quickly. So B has got the Mango count up high again. Numidan has actually stayed at just the 4 Culverins. Not many Reboldigrins either. Who do I think this favors with no movement? I actually think it kind of favors B, because if he gets enough time to like queue up, 20, 30 Schlachter, that has been the difference maker. Like, B's been able to gain ground when he has around 30 Schlacht. 9 Mangoes is also kind of wild. Like, at this stage, the Culverin idea is cool, but it doesn't really clear quick enough. It's Hull versus KT Infinite. Well, that's English as well, though. Like, can we not pretend that this is just 2 civs, the rare the exist in the game, right? As in, oh wow, look, that guy has infinite resources. This one, there's a lot of civs in there before that have infinite resources. Like, it's not just these. These are just the most recent additions. If you're not a fan of the late game, you should honestly review, like, infinite resources in general. In particular, food. This isn't, like, by the way, this isn't even, like, the best gold he could have. He's managed to almost get 10,000 gold built in reserve, and this is on 103 gold each way. Right, he didn't go Genoa for the extra 30%, and he's not even doing maximum distance pilgrimage. There was like meant to be this this uni thing happening, like at my old uni I went to, like them launching an esports program. I was like, oh, I might come by and see if esports is being done right in education, because it never is. I think I'm gonna have to skip that. Yeah, something tells me I'm not gonna be able to make it. The Mangoes, though, aren't making it in this fight. So many of them got sniped out there Only 2 remaining. Colburn's going to finish off the last of those. However, the front line is important here. Numenor needs to get that second wave of Spearmen in ASAP because they're Slashed now with a dive. They're reaching in. And the Culverins are going to go down. All siege lost. Numenor hard reset here. And remember, the contingent from the Wingguard isn't as cheap as it once was. So remaxing very difficult compared to what it used to be before. He will at least keep one Culverin over a Boldequin alive. B has some huge military swing issues, though. Yeah, he's kind of missing the bulk of his army here. Only 20 archers. Well, I believed for a second that that was our moment, but... All right, back to doing jumper jacks. Another 5 minutes, and then Vamos, we roll again. How is I? Oh man! Do you guys remember my interview with Baltoon at the end of the day on the weekend, where it's like a bit of a Pyrrhic victory, right? You won, but you had to play Lancaster. Is that just how everyone feels now? Like just having to play Lancaster is it's an experience. It's going to be a wood game. If it is a wood game, then Numenor wins because he has infinite wood. Yeah, oh, wait. Wait, B didn't remax on archers, by the way. So there's 100 spears? Oh, no. Is he about to get 3-0'd? I think he is. The spears can also clear keeps. B's just kind of got too many mangoes. No, like, the mangoes are, like, a weird one now because, like, what are you actually countering here? I mean, slash the count is decent, so maybe if he just carves up the fights, makes them separate engagements, that could work. Why is he not making spring odds? Interesting idea, but the Culverins, right? I think he's just worried he'd lose them at the engagement. Like, spring odds are very powerful. They definitely have their role in the game, but any civ that has these really good sniping type cannons, like Colts, makes it a lot harder. He's hunting B. Well, Tufan Plus is about to get shut down, which is going to make up, I think that was like a third of his food income. And he finds more on the east side. He's going to find the Pilgrims as well. Okay, I mean, he's still got reserves of gold, right? But the food afterwards is more important here. Numenor is playing wide flanks. He's still got troopers held in reserve. And B is trying to send it. Schlachta are going to arrive finally. He's up to 46! Now, hold on. Mathematically, we talked about this. Similar to Cataphracts, if you can afford Max Schlachta, they are incredible units. And he's working his way towards it. It's surprising as well, due to the lack of food. I didn't think it was possible. But he's now up to 50 Schlachta. And Numenor, I mean, yes, he's got spears. But he needs to be damn well sure he's got plenty of Raxes. Because it's going to take wave after wave here. Schlachta Mango seems to be the game strat for B to try and end this game. And you know what? I'm on board. This should win. It's a big should, but it's an important should. This is the most Schlachta cavalry we've seen him with. Mostly we've seen in a competitive AoE4 game at once. 55 and still climbing. And the charge damage is at 76. Some of these even higher. For example, this guy up at 82. Anyone at Death's Door will be even higher than that.